All right, Shalom. I'm gonna give all praise to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. I want to touch on the topic real quick that women are not to be teaching, man. All right, because the scripture says that the women are to keep silence in the church. All right, and the man is over the woman, man. The man has control over the woman. All right. Let me start out in 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 34. It says, "Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law." All right, they are commanded to be under obedience, man. All right, the man has dominion and control over the woman, man. All right, and righteousness. Okay. And if verse 35 says, "And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for women to speak in the church," man. All right. Let me get the law. Let me get Genesis chapter 3 verse 16. It says, unto the woman he said, "I will greatly multiply thy sorrows and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee." All right, now let's look at that word rule. All right, 1 minute. Let's look at that word desire real quick. It says desire, says longing, craving of a man for woman, of a woman for man. All right, so a woman's craving should be thy husband, but let me get the point. It says that word rule, it says to rule, have dominion, reign. All right, hey, just like Yahweh Shai is going to reign in the kingdom. All right, he's going to reign over the elect. All right, because it's order. All right, the same way men, we reign over the women, man. All right, to exercise dominion, man. All right, we rule over the women. All right, and even in the law, in the scriptures that say, because all the scriptures is law, man. All right, let me just get that precept. Verse 37, 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 37, it says, "If any man think himself to be a prophet or spiritual, let him acknowledge that the things that I write unto you are the commandments of the Lord." All right, so Paul, he was writing the commandments of the Lord, man. All right, so this whole book is commandments, man. All right, but what I was gonna say, okay, I just lost my train of thought. All right, and it says, "And thy desire," Genesis 3 and 16, towards the end it says, "And thy desire and shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee," man. All right, so we're gonna rule. It's not that we are. Well, in America, in Babylon, we're not ruling over our women. All right, at least for the most part. All right, because the men of the Lord, we are we're working towards that. All right, we're because our women, they're not obedient, man. All right, but the women are supposed to keep silence in the churches, man. All right, and let me get 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 12. It says, suffer. All right, this 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 12 says, "But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to absorb authority over the man, but to be in silence," man. All right, so women, they're not gonna supposed to be out there teaching, leading the congregation. All right, you got Joyce Myers. All right, you got all these false pastors, man. They don't follow the scriptures, man. All right, because verse 13 it says, "For Adam was first formed, then Eve, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression." All right, so women, they're going to lead you to death, man. All right, it says that in Sirach. Following after these women, they're going to lead you to death, man. All right, it says Sirach chapter 25, verse 24 says, "Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die, man." All right, Eve, man. All right, through her became the beginning of sin, man. She got beguiled. She got deceived by Satan, man. All right, it's it's all ordained by the Heavenly Father, but hey, it's all Eve's fault, man. All right, but it's all through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. And let me get numbers, because I said that, man, they have their reign, they have that dominion, they rule over the woman, all right, in all spiritual aspects, all right, because look, Numbers chapter 30 and verse, let me start at 6. "And if she had at all an husband when she vowed or uttered aught out of her lips," let me just start at the top. "And Moses spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which the Lord Yahweh have commanded. If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceeded out of his mouth. If a woman also vow a vow unto the Lord Yahweh, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth, her father hear her vow, and her bond wherein she had bound her soul, and her father have held his peace, and her father shall hold his peace at her, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she had bound her soul shall stand. But if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth not any of her vows, or any of her bonds where she had bound her soul shall stand, and the Lord Yahweh shall forgive her, because he hath disallowed her." And this is the point. Verse 6, "And if she had at all an husband when she vowed or uttered out of her lips wherein she bound her soul, and her husband hear it, and held his peace at her in the day that he heard it, then her vow shall stand, and her bonds wherever she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband disallow her on the day that he heard her, then he shall make her vow what she vowed, and that which she uttered out of her lips, wherein she bound her soul, of none effect, and the Lord shall forgive her." All right, so the Lord, so the man, he clearly has dominion over the women, man. All right, so these women are supposed to be in obedience to the man, man. All right, and that's soon to come to America. All right, because I know we got a few sisters that are under that right banner. All right, that's following Yahweh Hashem Yahushua in all truth and sincerity. But as a whole, no, man, way off. All right, but that's soon to come in Jacob's trouble. All right, and let me get a few more scriptures and we'll close out. I think it's Proverbs 18. Proverbs 8 and 4. All right, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 8 and verse 4. It says, "Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of men." All right, the Lord's flock are men. The 144,000 which are teaching Israel today through the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Wahar Kodash, those are men. All right. And let me get another precept to back that up. This is Ezekiel chapter 34 and verse 31. Who call Allah Yahweh Shem Shah? Let me start at 30. Thus shall they know that I, the Lord Yahweh, their power, and with them, and that they, even the house of Israel, are my people, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And ye, my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men, and I am your God, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, man. All right, hey, the Lord's flock are men. All right, Yahushai, when he was on the scene, holding Passover, holding all the high holy days, his 12 disciples, man. All right, they were men. All right, he wasn't dealing with the women. All right, let me get that one in John. I think it's John 5. So I can't remember. All right, this is the book of John, chapter 4. And let me start at 13. It says, Yahushua answered and said unto her, Whoso drinketh of this water shall thirst again, but whoso drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. The woman said unto him, Sir, give me this water that I thirst not, neither come hither to draw. Yahushua saith unto her, Go, call thy husband and come hither. All right, because Yahushua, he wasn't going to go ahead and give her this truth, give her these scriptures. All right, go call your husband, man, because the Lord, he's dealing with the men. All right, and the men teach the women in the house, man. All right, so Yahushua, he was operating off the law, man. All right, just like the Lord Yahweh, man. All right, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, they operate off the law, man. All right, and the law says, hey, if a woman are to learn anything, ask their husbands at home, man. All right, so the man, we rule over the women, man. All right, I think there's one more. I'm gonna get one more in Revelations. I think it's 21:3. Yep, Revelations 21 verse 3. It says, And I heard a great voice out of the heaven, saying, Behold, the tabernacle of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their power, man. All right, so the Lord, the tabernacle of the Lord, the 144,000, all right, the elect, man, they are men. All right, and the 1/3, those are the men, women, and children. All right, that multitude, man. Let me see if I can get that, and I'm gonna close out. Yep, I'm gonna close out with this. Revelation chapter 7 verse 9. And this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and all kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne, before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, man. All right, clothed with righteousness, man. All right, having the names Father sealed in their foreheads, man. All right, this is talking about the 1/3. All right, that the men, women, and children, man. All right, but the point was, hey, the men are to rule over the women. All right, and all righteousness. All right, not in folly and wickedness, but the men are to rule over the women in righteousness, man. All right, and that's thus saith the law, man. All right, thus saith Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. All right, so I just wanted to touch on that. Lord willing, this video is edifying. I'm going to close out, give all praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. To the next lesson, I say shalom.